YouTube is such an amazing technological platform. In terms of impact, it might be more revolutionary than the Gutenberg printing press. Someone can literally reach millions of people at any time, able to share their ideas from their basements. Perhaps you could claim, in not all cases is that a great thing, but the ability is there. You are able to create a show that will gain distribution that 20 years ago would have cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. College professors like Jordan Peterson are not just reaching 100 pupils in a classroom, but have the ability to disseminate their knowledge to the entire world, not only live, but made available for the here and the after. People can now listen on their portable devices, enabling the absorption of information and learning, changing what was once the drudgery of chores like doing the dishes, vacuuming, laundry, or going to the grocery store into opportunities of learning and personal growth. Better yet, in terms of absolute global impact, the thing that I think that YouTube and similar sites are going to be the most responsible for in the benefit of mankind is the fact that all these children that live out in the boonies, out in the middle of nowhere, that previously would have never been given access to an education that somebody who's born in Paris, Los Angeles would have received, is now able to have the best teachers, the best professors in the world infiltrate and send information, infiltrate their minds, send information to them via the airways, beam them directly to them. So to give you an example, one of the ways that you can get from Argentina to Chile is this gorgeous trek called Cruce de los Lagos, where you cross over various lakes amidst the Andes Mountains, these giant snow runoff lakes. And as you're crossing them, you're witnessing not only the great beauty, but you're also witnessing the poverty that exists throughout the world, because there are people that, for example, live out on the islands in this great, huge lake. And when they see the catamaran coming that is able to traverse the lake at such a high speed, they send a little motorboat out with their children. They've got their little backpacks on, they throw a rope up, it attaches to the boat, and they hoist the children up. And you transport them to school. Not the most efficient way to get an education, especially one that might not be the best education. Now they're going to have beamed directly into their homes lessons from the best teachers on earth. They can learn any subject, and this is what the magnificent power of YouTube and the internet is, and how it's raising the tide of humanity. Very exciting stuff. And the amount of sophisticated programming, the resources that are and the servers that are used to store all the videos, all the data, and able to give it to you, all the statistics at a moment's notice, all the bandwidth that's been made available for free via Google is a testament not only to the company and its foresight, but also to capitalism as a whole. I love YouTube. I've been educated. I've learned so much from watching like Jordan Peterson, from watching physics, from having questions answered, to watching Joe Rogan interview various people, to watching and being entertained by baby pandas sneezing. Basically all for free. I'm incredibly grateful for YouTube's existence. Of course, whenever a technology, a platform grows so large, there are people that want to use it to promote their own or for their own ideological purposes, or just to stymie ideas which contradict their own. It's not only a leftist thing, it happens on the right-hand side of the aisle too. Okay, it's mainly a leftist thing. I mean, 90% of the people that are in favor of censorship and the suppression of other people's idea are on the left today. That might change, but for now, that's what it is. So should YouTube allow on its platform ISIS beheading videos that are meant to incite and recruit psychopathic individuals into their cult? I say no, solidly no. But then that makes me not a free speech absolutist as much as I lean towards that direction. What about ISIS recruitment videos with propagandists from the organization arguing in favor of it? Again, I say niet. No thank you. But who am I to decide what an organization is, absent a government terrorist stamp prohibiting their activity? But who am I to decide what an organization is and what it means, absent of, say, a governmental terrorist stamp prohibiting their activity? For example, I am absolutely no fan of Antifa. They're vandals, they have hateful and divisive rhetoric. But who am I to interfere with their free speech? Idiotic as it may be. I myself have had people calling me a right-wing grifter, a spreader of hate speech, Satan incarnate. For these totally normal, totally healthy people, I am ISIS adjacent. Funny, that should be alt-right adjacent, but when you take it to the extreme to satirize what is a demeaning and meant to be a branding notion that the left does to people by calling them alt-right adjacent, just take it out to the logical extreme, see how it sounds. Look, deciding on the line is not easy, and I don't begrudge YouTube from having to make difficult decisions. What, however, I do not accept are things like adopting the World Health Organization as the arbiter and the be-all and end-all authority regarding COVID. And anyone who dares to disagree with a notion that they have gets their video or their channel deleted. Making the WHO the ultimate authority on COVID, YouTube is essentially establishing a ministry of truth, which is, of course, a reference to George Orwell's prophetic masterpiece, 1984. And this specific truth organization is directly under the thumb of Chinese leadership, the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, whose strategy in controlling such organizations is to take control of them by establishing at their head essentially what is a puppet. In this case is Tedros Adhanom, who isn't even a physician. So what specifically does the WHO get wrong? Discouraging the use of masks, decrying the Chinese travel ban that the USA and Australia instituted, spreading Chinese propaganda, despite the fact that we all believe that they knew better, that the virus doesn't spread person to person, and cutting off conversations the moment the word Taiwan is brought up. Chinese propaganda, huh? That couldn't be influencing that. Yet YouTube creators cannot counter the WHO, and it makes no sense. So for example, what if I was a physician who originally doubted the narrative that the virus does not spread person to person, and I made this grievance against the WHO known on YouTube? I countered that narrative along with everybody else that did. My video would be deleted. All the hard work that I put into the channel is at risk. I take issue with the fact that YouTube strikes down a video from doctors in Pasadena that gets 5 million views due to activists decrying the fact that they are able to spread this quote-unquote misinformation, or even the pandemic video, batty as it might be. Look, these videos, they definitely got some things wrong. I did some research. But being able to decide that for myself, being able to have access to alternative information is part of being human and part of having a free mind. And I certainly do not want any ministry of truth telling me what I must and can believe. We're not in China, YouTube. And worse, for me at least, because I say this as a Google shareholder, people are just going to watch these videos on alternative platforms like BitChute. I personally have taken some of my content there as well as a backup. As I said, a lot of creators are uncertain as to Google and YouTube's intention. When you have Google, the Google search engine, which Project Veritas originally pointed out, and they have embedded ideology into search. Look, just go ahead, try this little experiment. Go and type in men can into the Google search bar, and you take a look at the auto suggestions. They are men can get pregnant, have periods, and think about nothing. And so you want to tell me that the underpinnings of Google's curation process are purely science, that Google hasn't written into its artificial intelligence ideological bias that won't seep into their future products? Please, please, the evidence is right in front of us. It exists. So YouTube, and Susan Wojcicki, please don't destroy it. Please don't destroy this marvelous platform you built. Stop. Stop recommending only mainstream media sources as recommended videos. If we wanted CNN, if we wanted Fox, we could easily go to those websites. Please help people find alternative points of view and new creators. Let ideas be debated without Chinese censors at the WHO telling us what we have to believe. By all means, turn a profit. Go out there and make all this investment worthwhile, because it's a tremendous platform. It does tremendous good for humanity. Please don't destroy this platform, which helps educate the kids on those islands out on the Chilean-Argentina border who otherwise would never have access to it. The children in Cambodia who for the first time get to learn something else outside of what their village tells them. Please don't destroy these possibilities, all the good that you do, by promoting your ideology, one-sided politics, and censorship. If you guys think that this information and content is valuable, by all means share it. YouTube is not going to do that. So please share the video. And if you have any thoughts, good or bad, leave it in the comment section below, and feel free to subscribe. Regardless of everybody out there, peace and blessings, and have a wonderful, fantastic day.